Hi, I'm FB and this is Team News March 12th, episode 33, and starting with the latest results. After a 1-week delay, the 3D Max Dirt Supremacy Grand Final between Pepino and Speed You Need was finally played, but not on Sunday as we reported last week. Instead it took place on Saturday. Pepino stepped into this final as the favorite since he had dominated the dirt scene lately. However, when it mattered the most, he would ultimately fall against Speed You Need, who took home the title instead. For his effort, Speed You Need wins €500 as well as a monitor. Also, a match for third place was played between Kiros and Tyler Brown, with Kiros eventually winning it, and at the same time as the real competition, a fun competition took place where the winner was Wolfram. In a Maniac News, you'll find all the rankings as well as all the VODs that Team Live and Draconia TV cast of the tournament. Also on Saturday, the 6th race of FB's weekly race happened. Once again about 100 people started the race, and it was last week's winner RESULTS who again early on took the command and built up a pretty solid lead. However, this time Sand had a much better start than he did the 2 last races, and he gradually started getting closer to RESULTS as the race went on. And with just 4 laps left to go, RESULTS made a crucial mistake at the speed section of the map, which made him lose several seconds. Sand could take over the lead, which he kept into the finish as well, winning the race for the 3rd time and also the best lap for the 4th time in a row. RESULTS eventually could take 2nd, just ahead of George. And as I mentioned last week, I announced a time attack competition that runs on the most recently used track, and the winner turned out to be Raggle, who with his time won 500 planets as well as a video which is found in the description below, where you will also find a link to a VOD of the race. Ultimate F1 Racing has had 2 more rounds in their season. Starting with the Aim Diab race, which was won by Sammy ahead of Steven and Diablo. Esther, who was in the lead in the toll ranking before this race, had to retire after running out of fuel, which made him lose overall 1st place to Sammy. Then the 2nd race was an Understorp, where Sammy once again took 1st and he increased his lead in the toll ranking over Esther, who finished 2nd now, with 3rd place going to Royboy. This makes the Driver Championship look as following. Sammy is 1st with 271 points, Esther is 2nd with 239 points, and Royboy is 3rd with 221 points. For the Constructors' Championship, Marussia is in the lead with 312 points, with 2nd place occupied by McLaren at 239 points and 3rd by Williams with 227 points. And then to conclude the results, the 3rd round of Team Masters Team Cup 2014 was played on Sunday. If you want to take a look at the current standings in the groups, then you'll find a link to that below the video. And as usual, I will also try to find as many VODs of matches that I can and link to them as well. Now for some community news. Mania Exchange has announced a monthly track contest for the month of March. The rules for the MTC is that you get a special task on a given theme that's different every month, and then after you submitted your entry it will be judged and the winner will be announced. The theme for this month is called Flatland, and it means you have to attempt building a track as close to the ground as possible. The deadline is set to Sunday, March 16th, and further details about the event can be found in the official announcement over at Mania Exchange website. Electronic Tournaments has announced that they will start organizing new stadium-only events again. As some of you noticed, there was no Giant Cup nor Stadium Team Championship / Nations Cup last year, which many thought was a great shame considering those tournaments had been around since the beginning of the game. But now ET has announced a new admin team that's only focused on organizing these tournaments sometime this year, which is really cool to hear. The new group of admins asks for suggestions and opinions in the comments to the announcement if you want to help out. And continuing with Electronic Tournaments, they've also announced a map search for future Trackmania United events. If you want to submit maps, then see the official announcement for the requirements needed. The deadline is set to the end of March. Now for upcoming events. TM Masters has revealed that they will organize the 7th edition of their True Talent Cup this upcoming Friday at 7 PM CET. For those who don't know how this cup works, it's played in a knockout format, where for each round the last player gets eliminated until there's only 1 player left. Also included in the format is that the 5 maps that are used will be released at the start of the cup, which means everyone will be completely untrained. There's also no need to sign up for it, all you have to do is to join the server. But keep in mind, this cup is extremely popular and the server used only got 100 slots, so I'd recommend joining very early if you want to make sure that you can play. Last week I mentioned that the ESL 2-on-2 Valley Cup series maybe would be cancelled if there weren't enough teams signing up to it. And sadly, that's exactly what happened. However, ESL decided to instead hold a 1-on-1 Night Cup on the submitted maps for the Cup series. It will take place on Friday starting at 8 PM CET, And if you want to participate, then check out the news over at ESL for more details. Now I'd like to take the opportunity to remind everyone that Mania Exchange are hosting weekly knockout tournaments every Saturday. Usually it's either in Canyon or Valley, and there's always one cup in the morning and one in the evening. When exactly the cups take place are announced in the topic over at Mania Exchange later this week if you want to check it out. The 7th edition of FB's weekly race will also occur on Saturday, starting at 7 PM CET as usual. Also as usual, no registration is needed to participate in the race, simply just join the server before starting time, and as long as the server isn't full you will get to play. But I am happy to announce that the server use now got an additional 50 slots added to it, making the total 150, which hopefully should be enough so that everyone can play. Also the map use will be released about 15 minutes before going live, so there is no need for practice. In the description below you will find more useful information about the race, as well as a link to a Facebook event page. 1 hour later, ESL will organize their 7th edition of the RPG Nightcup. The map used this time will be by Maxi031 and is called Sanctum Mire, which you can already now download and start practicing on. The format for this cup stays the same, which means it will start off with a 30-minute time attack session where the best 50% players will advance to the final round, which is played in a knockout format. If you want to sign up, then head over to ESL's website for details on how to do that. On Sunday at 10 AM CT, the 10th race in the Ultimate F1 racing season will take place. This time the track is the Shanghai GP, and if you want to find out how to participate, then visit Ultimate F1 Racing's website, which is linked to below. To finish off the episode, the 4th round of Team Masters Team Cup 2014 will take place on Sunday with default time set to 8 PM CET. The best way to see who's streaming is to check out the Trackmaniacs Twitch team page, which lists almost every active streamer of the game. And that's all I had for this week. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll be back next week with another batch of news.